Hi, welcome to the first video by Ribbon Candy Hooking. We are putting together a YouTube channel that runs parallel to the website, the Facebook site that we just set up for Southern New England rug hookers, punch needlers, rug braiders, anything to do with rug making. And we have noticed already, in having just started this group, we're up to over 100 people in just over a week, which shows that there's a lot of people who are doing rug making in this part of New England, Massachusetts, Connecticut, mostly Connecticut and Rhode Island, but hopefully people from other parts of the country as well. I had a brainstorm last night about putting together a kit for beginners, because a lot of beginners were messaging and asking for information about a kit to get started. People who had either taken a long hiatus from hooking or people who had never started and were interested in learning a bucket list type thing. So I thought last night it would maybe be a good thing to post on our page a design that was an original design that would be geared toward beginners, anybody, but definitely beginners, a simple design that would evoke the season. It's January 2020. Oh my God. So I put together this design. It's a simple design I described on a post. It's called January Mittens. It shows two droopy mittens, a little bit tired after the holidays and the festivities, on one of these old-time wire hangers. And it's got a very simple border of just stripes that could be interpreted in different ways, that could be made more busy or less busy or solid or anything. The main thing is this is a 10-inch square tile with two mittens. Very simple design, ready to go. So I've kitted it up today. I put together a few bags that will be all you need in terms of supplies, textile supplies to do this project. And those bags include a variety of tweeds, nice bright blues, turquoise, slate blues, that kind of thing. Some whites, fuchsia, some hand-dyed, modeled, nice wool, some straight, solid door mills. And I'm also including as bling, because it is the new year, and it is the New Year month, and the first in a series of these tiles, this new product that I have found on Etsy that is fantastic. And if you comment, I can give you more information about the seller. This is foil looking metallic felt 100% wool backed material. So this is a new material. This is a new product. This is not the kind of metallic that you have a white back and every time you run a loop you're seeing the white. This is backed in the same color as the material. So this is going to come out very blingy, very bright, very consistent, and not amateur looking at all. It's a nice new product. So if you're getting started with this kit, you have got those bags of material. I am working with the January Mittens pattern. I put my pattern on burlap because I did it this morning in a hurry, and I'm working this pattern so that I have an example for myself to keep. But I will be sending you your pattern. I'm starting tomorrow because it's already being sold on this hairless linen, which you can see it's a lighter color than what I'm working on. So yours is the same gauge, same amount of holes per inch. It's very fine hairless linen, right? So that's what yours will be on. Your pattern will be printed the same as mine. So if you're a beginner, what you need so far is the kit, the burlap, the backing. It's called the backing. For you, it's linen. The material, so all your strips have come with you, and the only two things that you're going to need are a rug hooking needle and some kind of a hoop or something to hook onto. So if I were a beginner and I didn't want to invest a lot of money in something that I wasn't sure I was going to like yet, although I've done that 1,000 times, you shouldn't do that, as you know. I would go for a plain hoop. This is not a plain hoop. This is my favorite hooking device, and I found this at a garage sale, and I always find these at garage sales. But if you find a straight hoop like this from Joann's, Michael's, whatever craft store, it's going to work great. You're just going to prop your hoop against your kitchen table or whatever, just for leverage while you hook and pull. If you happen to find one of these, this is still my personal favorite to use with any size, anything. I love having this simple thing, not heavy, super lightweight. I adjust the hoop, I move my image around. Your loops are never affected by you moving the hoop around. That never happens. Yeah, I'll take that hoop. There's lots of different hoops, different sizes. Ones that are absolutely enormous, as big as a wagon wheel or more. Ovals, circles, anything. They're available online. They're available vintage on eBay. You can get them anywhere. But for me, my personal preference is always this hoop with this platform built in, Your burlap goes over it, goes into the hoop, and then you're working under it. One hand's working over, one hand's working under. I would use a hoop if I were just beginning. Get a $1 hoop at Michael's, Joann's, whatever your store is. Today I'm going to use this, which I don't normally use. This is a homemade, well, it's I bought it off a website. These are like artisan made, and they're very nice. These can run 50 to 100 or more. These frames that are tilted, and they have carpet stripping on them. So if you're handy, just make one of these. But I'm just using this for speed because I want to show you what we're going to do to get started with hooking, and then I'll do some follow-up videos on the heels of this one to show the progress of this January mittens coming to be. So just to let you know, you need a hoop, or you need something like this, whatever you've got, and you need a hook. So you can get a hook. This is my hooking bag, which is very small. It usually includes my magnifying glasses because these are not going to work for close-up. I use much higher magnification just to see so much better. It's aging and it's aggravating. It is what it is. The only things in my little bag are a little pair of scissors I can snip with and a rug hook. So the general rule with rug hooks is that the wider your strips, the higher the number of rug hook you need. If these were primitive strips, what we call primitive rug hooking, like very folk art, stylized, these would be more like a size 8 strip. You know, I run them through my wool cutter and then I put them in the kit for you. Mine are a size 5. I like a size 5. It's not fine, it's not super artsy, it's not super difficult, it's not primitive, it's not oversimplified. You get a lot more detail with a 5. It's right in the middle. So you need a medium-sized hook. And the problem with buying a hook is they are sized differently according to different websites. Complicated. But don't buy a hook that says number 2 or anything like 2 millimeter, because that's going to be for the kind of strips that are like thread, right? There are number 2 strips that you can get if you set your wool cutter on number 2, but mine are number 5. That's medium, that's middle of the road. You're going to get nice details. It's going to pop. It's not going to be super wide and clunky. It's not going to look overly primitive, and it's not going to look like thread and take a million years to complete. This is right middle of the road. So I've got a medium hook. I'm not even sure what size this is, but these are 5 strips. And if you go on Amazon or the Woolery, any rug hooking site, Door Mill, DORR, and look for a hook, look for a mid-size hook, and send an email if you're not sure, or comment on this thread if you're not sure. Show me the thing that you're looking at and I'll let you know if it works for number 5 strips. So the next thing you're going to do is start hooking. This is super easy. If you are a quilter, don't even be thinking about machines and batting and all that stuff. This is a new world of simplicity. You're just putting your January mittens, I'm putting it on my carpet strips of my frame. Frames come in all different sizes as well for future reference. You can get the big Puritan frames, the blue ones, the nice vintage ones. Those are more in the hundreds. This frame I think was about 70. See how it goes, see if you like it. If you want something different, get your hoop, get your thing locked in the hoop, put me on pause, prop it up on the edge of a table or something, because what you're going to be doing is working with one hand under and one hand over. The hook hand is going to be pulling the strips through. The bottom hand is going to be feeding the strips through, okay? So the bottom hand is blind. It's feeding it through, and you will quickly develop an intuitive feel for where your hand is and where your hook is. It will happen immediately. It's not something that takes forever. Your hand will be feeding the hook, and you'll just be running like gangbusters after a very short time, I promise. So once you get yourself in your hoop and all set up, you want to take out your strips and start hooking. So the general rule, and everybody's different and there's no right way or wrong way, but with a design like January mittens, I've got a background and I've given you a lot of different colors to use in the background, a lot of different lighter blues, right? That's going to be this bag. All the light colors, there's like 4 different colors, mottled ones, there's a light tweed, all of the light ones at the bottom of the bag, that's your background. So you just mix those in. You can do it in swirls, you can do it in stripes, you can do it in verticals, you can do it in horizontals, whatever you want. But you're going to mix all those colors up to create interest in the background. However, most people, including me, will start with not doing the background. We're going to do the primary shapes in the front. It's easier to fill in the background later. So I'm going to start right now. The only thing I'm doing in this video is starting to hook the mittens. Now you can see the mittens have a design. The design within the mitten is the stripey design. That design can have bling because I gave you a lot of extra metallic wool-backed foil to do those. So you can use your colors for those, or you can use the other colors in the bag. There's a lot of extra bright colors in there. The fuchsias are for that. There's an off-white for that. We'll see that when we get there. But for now, I'm just hooking the mittens. I'm going to put you on pause for just a second. Okay, so I momentarily forgot what color the mittens were, and they are this bright turquoise color. All right, so this is like, it's beyond turquoise. It's like a super, super bold. All of your strips are at least 12 inches, and you can cut them at any point. You always want, if you can, for your strip to start and end on top. You want the little ends on top. The reason you don't want them on the bottom, and I've put a lot of them on the bottom just for practicality, because where I was with the strip, you really shouldn't, because you can pull them out easily and you'll frustrate yourself easily if you keep pulling them out. This is not like quilting. This is not like knitting. This is a craft where if you make a mistake, you pull out 1 or 2 or 3 loops and you are back to ground zero. It is not the kind of craft where you pull tons of stuff out. It doesn't work like that. This is a very clean, easy craft. You see what you're doing as you're going. But if you leave your little tails up, you will find that they are not being pulled down by accident when your blind hand is under there working. So what I'm going to do is, I've got my blue. I'm going to feed it to where the mitten is, and I'm going to start on the edge of the mitten. I've got my thing right here. You can see it poking through. Actually, I'm going to start right here on the corner, and I'm going to put my hook. Hold on. Major important thing that I forgot is I can't see anything without my other glasses. Perfect. Pause. There we go. If you're getting old too, you know you need the right glasses on because you can't see anything. Now I can't see you, but I can see this. So my blind hand is going under, and I'm going to put in my hook, right? The hook, you cannot substitute this for a crochet hook or anything. You need a rug hooking hook. It's very sharp on the point, and it's very sharp on the top because it's going to go through your backing fabric. I'm putting it through on the first loop, and I'm pulling out the blue. There it is. So there's the little tail. I'm going to pull it back a little bit. Don't pull it back too much, because if you're a true beginner, you haven't done this before, and you might keep pulling it and losing it and frustrating yourself. Don't set yourself up for failure. It's too easy to do with any craft. This one is one that you're going to make it. It's going to be fine. I'm in there. I'm going to go, because I'm starting, I always go into the immediate next hoop, and I pull another one up. I don't pull it up to the sky like I'm doing latch hook and it's the 1970s. I don't do that. I pull it up just a little bit. The general rule is that you should pull your loop up as high as your strip is wide. So my strip is this wide. I want to pull my loop up about that wide. That's the general rule. You will have gorgeous loops that are luminescent and get the most light, catch the most light, if you pull them up about the height of the width of your strip. So I've already got my one loop up. I'm going to skip a hole and go to my second loop. You will find that in terms of packing the loops, which means the placement of the loops, you will find that even though you think you can see a little bit, I pulled that one back through because it flipped underneath. You can't have that. Got to have them nice and flat like noodles, like little pasta noodles. Pulling them up piece by piece, and they don't look perfect. This one looks a little bit over, but you will see as time goes on, and as I packing means the effect of running them vertically and horizontally. They will be packed on the sides. They will be packed next to each other. You don't want them packed too tightly, because then you will get sort of bunching and a thickness to the look of your rug that can't be corrected other than by pulling wool out. That's like the knitting disaster when you pull tons of out. You don't want to be pulling tons of anything out. You want to make sure that your loops look comfortable. You're not seeing tons of backing between them, and you're anticipating packing the sides of them and packing above and below them. The loops will be supporting each other. If you're thinking as a beginner the thoughts that I thought, like, why aren't these just pulling out? They're not going to pull out. I guess it's magic. I don't know the science of it, but I do know whether you're working with burlap or monk's cloth or linen, these loops packed to this extent, which is not packed. It's like just normal looping every other little square, sometimes every square if I'm getting close to something and I want to put them a little bit tighter again, or I'm going to make a turn. you get a feel for it. You develop a feel. There's no way to learn it. There's no number of stitches that's right. If it looks like they're touching each other too tight, back off and skip one little tiny space, right? Because your linen has tons of holes. Just skip one, go to the next one. Plan on doing every other hole. When you get to the edge of a little stripey like this, you can see I hooked down the side and I got to the edge of the design with the stripe. What I'm going to do next is go to my scissors. And this is how you end that little bit. I'm taking my scissors and I'm just cutting the hoop there. And I've got the rest of my strip here to carry on somewhere else. You can see so far all I've done is that one little loop. I'm not going into this business yet. That's going to be a different color. I'm going to go around the edge and I'm going to fill in the rest of the mitten. So I'm going to stick with you while I do that. I'm going to turn my frame a little bit. At the end, you're going to trim all these little tails that you have sticking up. Those are not going to be visible, but I wouldn't start fooling with those until you were truly at the end, because it's not important unless they're driving you crazy. It's not important at all. The important thing is to get the colors into the spaces, to make sure your loops are pretty uniform, to make sure you're not overpacked and too tight. That's all you're doing. You're just filling in color. It's like if you enjoy doing those coloring books, you know, for relaxation, then you're going to really enjoy doing this, because it's the same principle. You're filling in color as you go. You're painting with wool. And I love it. A lot of people love it. A lot of people in southern New England love it. So I'm going across here now. You can see I'm coming to the corner of the little mitten. Now, you could do one of two things. You could cut it and leave the little tail up again. In this case, I'm going to turn the corner. That's your other option. I'm just going to turn the corner and outline this. I'm going to be working on this tonight, and I'm going to try to get as much done as I can so that tomorrow I can record another video showing putting new colors in, putting more colors in. I'm just going to fill in the blue part that is just a solid mitten so that tomorrow I can work on filling in the little stripies, the little zigzag design on the mitten, these guys here, and filling in the wire design. And then I will probably do the background and then the strips around. But we'll just make these short videos to work together. I'm just going to be working on this tonight, filling in the blue, and I'm going to show you what it looks like in behind. Okay, I've got this sticking out because I'm still working with it. I've got this sticking out because I haven't trimmed it yet. We're going to trim all that stuff at the end. I'm just filling in the colors and having fun. Looking forward to changing to the next color. Looking forward to doing the little details that will pop, like the little heart wire and the stripes on the mittens. But all of those things are things to come. Just concentrate on getting your blue mitten backgrounds in. This part is the blue, this part is the blue. Tomorrow we'll do the stripes together. Thanks for watching.